Hey everybody, Jesse Castor with Better CNC here with another Friday video. This week I'm going to try and do one of my cam videos I've been wanting to do. This is going to be focused on how to approach parts, reviewing parts that I've made, or if you have something you want to send in for me to review and kind of program on camera, you send it to YouTube at bettercnc.com. But otherwise, I'm going to go over one of the parts that I made. I actually had a short on this part a while back showing it off. But this part, I did it completely on a 3-axis milling machine with no custom fixtures except for a 60 degree angle block. So I'll walk through kind of op by op on how I approach this part. So you can see we got a hole here, we got a narrow slot, we got a hole back here, and I believe this one is tapped, this one is tapped, and these two are tapped. Then you have this slot that's off at an angle. But otherwise, about to say, just no large square surfaces to hold on to. I did this part, and for anyone who guessed, I did this part in 9 operations. So the first operation came out like this. So part of my strategy behind this part was to keep it as square as possible, as long as possible. So I always have something to hold on to. And that's part of the reason why there's so many ops, because I just did little bites at a time. So this first operation, I cut it down to this slot. I added the through hole. I added this hole. I did this, but you could see I left stock all around this part. I left stock on this surface, but this is finished. The slot is finished. The holes are finished. And my datums on the outside are as finished as they can be. So I cut to that face. I cut to that face. That way, when I edge fine of the other operations, I don't have to think about, is there extra stock here or anything like that. It's to the true surface. See, no stock over there. So the first op, I did that. And also, I made sure I had a nice long flat surface here and here to rest my parallels on. So that when we go into operation 2, op 2, we just skimmed the back. So now we have our true width. We have nice long flat surfaces for parallels. We have big flat surfaces to vise onto. So this op, if you're doing it on a 5-axis or other way, this op would be a little bit redundant, but because of my approach of keeping it square, I needed to just cut the back off and not do anything else yet. So the third operation, because we're big and square and flat everywhere, we were able to stand it up, vise it this way, front to back, and drill this hole. Super simple, super straightforward setup. And then going into operation 4, we were able to stand it up and machine this step in here. Machine part of this wall, machine this step, and get that clean and get this square, because this had to be, we could only cut this square corner from this view. And then going to our next operation, we drilled 2 holes right here. So we have a nice square body, still long flat to vise onto. So we just held it by like a 1/4 inch over here. And we machined some more away. So we cut that, we cut that, we finished that wall, we finished that floor, we roughed in that angle a little bit, then we spotted, we drilled, we tapped. Then going into operation 6, this is where we used the 60 degree angle block, and we held it, angle block was down here, and we held it long ways in the vise. And then we just came in, and faced that, drilled an entry hole for our end mill, came in and did adaptive machining, and then did a contour all around. Operation 7 was a bigger one. And in this op, I believe I actually set the parallels on this big surface, and I viced between here and here. But that's where we did all of this cutting. So we roughed all this out so it looked like this before. We held right here and over here. Then we roughed everything down. We did a bunch of surfacing. So we surfaced that in, we surfaced the big arch. We surfaced this plane right here. We finished all these walls. And then we did, using a smaller radius tool, we surfaced right there and right there. So getting down to the wire, there's not a lot left to hold on to here. But operation 8, we did half of this. And I think when I finished, there's a way you can approach it and not have to do this. Take it to 8 operations instead of 9. But the 8th operation, we're resting on this surface, we're viced on that flat, and I hung it off the vise. So basically this part would be off the edge of the vise, and we held on to this big flat right here. And then we just babied this whole surface in, finished it, and took the radiuses to size. So the last operation is from this view, and we did the same thing. We hung it off the side. We hung this off the side of the vise, and we viced it right here. And let's say you got that slot. You could put a shim into it to keep that from closing. This is also 17.4, so it's a stronger steel, stronger material. So you're gonna have to crank it pretty hard to pinch that in. But if you want to be on the safe side, you can put in a shim. But otherwise, I viced it on this surface and this surface, machining this view. And this is where we just finish this slot here and finish the angle. So we basically cut all that, roughed that in. We notched all that out, finished that, finished the radiuses, and then surfaced this angle and this angle. But by doing all that, we were able to produce this part in a vise with no custom fixturing. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have any ideas. This is kind of a new series for me, a new thing I'm wanting to try and do. So if you have any feedback, I am absolutely all ears. Otherwise, hope everyone has a good weekend. Enjoy the video. I'll see you in the next one.